Hey guys, Todd Helms with Eastmans Hunting Journals out here today to bring you a boot review on the Meindl Air Revolution lineup of boots. While I got you here, drop down, mash that subscribe button, flip on your notifications bell, and hit the like button while you're there. Hey, while you're thinking about it too, make sure you're checking us out on all of our social media feeds. We produce awesome content every single day for you, for your entertainment and education. That's our mission statement here at Eastmans, to educate and entertain. Hopefully, I can educate you today on the Meindl Air Revolution lineup of boots and have a little fun in the process. All right, the first boot that I'm going to talk about in the lineup is the Meindl Air Revolution Alpine Pro 200. That's this boot right here in my hands. As you can see, it's a 9-inch tall boot, and the 200 in the name means it's got 200 grams of insulation in it. I like that 200 to 400 mark in an insulated boot because in a boot that's designed for high output activity like chasing elk and mule deer and maybe sheep in the high country, my feet are gonna sweat. The more insulation in a boot, the more they're gonna sweat. So 200 grams of insulation hits the sweet spot for me. It's enough to take off the chill on those brisk fall mornings, but not enough to slow me down and weigh me down in the mountains. So along with the 200 grams of insulation is Meindl's new Air Revolution technology. And what that does is makes this boot extremely breathable. I talked about because insulation can make your feet clammy in a boot, Meindl's Air Revolution technology sucks air into the boot and out of the boot. We have a gusseted tongue here that actually like Velcros open. That is maximum air escapement. So what it does is it allows your foot to breathe even in an insulated boot. The Meindl Air Revolution Alpine Pro 200 is the high country, above timberline workhorse. It has the most robust flex rating of all three of these boots with a C flex rating, and you can tell I can't really bend it. It does move with your foot, but when you need ultimate support on a tough backcountry hunt, this is the boot that you're gonna want. When you're scrambling through scree slopes, you're going after high alpine mule deer or maybe sheep, this would be a great boot for that adventure because it's stiff. It's gonna give you the support that you need. It has the Meindl Multi-Grip Alpine 3 sole by Vibram. Really nice blend of enough tread without too much tread. This boot has a full Gore-Tex liner in it, which is really awesome, guys, for when you got a little bit of moisture to contend with, wet snow. It just keeps your feet nice and dry. I also like how the Gore-Tex liner and membrane breathes with the Air Revolution technology in the boot. Again, I was expecting this boot to be a lot hotter on my feet than it was, and that wasn't the case at all. Gore-Tex really helps with that moisture mitigation and management. Keeps you dry from the outside and helps moisture escape from the inside. The lacing system on all these boots is updated, and Meindl calls it the Digiflex or the Digaflex. It's on their website. I probably butchered that, and I apologize, but what it does is it gives you multiple lacing points on the boot to really be able to lock your laces in the way you want them. And so you're not having to stop and retie. What I love about the system that Meindl has come up with is it's got plastic inserts here or synthetic inserts here into these lacing grommets that you can really tighten down really nicely and they stay tight. And that's awesome. There's nothing worse than having a boot you got to stop every 15 minutes and retie. Again, this is the big dog in the boot lineup for Meindl. It's insulated. It's got the stiffest flex rating for the most support. And if I was looking for like a sheep hunt boot, this would be it. For you guys that like a really stiff boot that's really robust for all your hunts, this is the one you want. So on to the next. This is a 3-boot series in the Air Revolution lineup. All right, so the next boot is a little bit shorter. It is the Air Revolution Alpine Hiker. This is a 7.5-inch tall boot, a little bit lower on the ankle. It comes with a little bit less weight. It still has that BC flex rating. It's not quite as stiff as the Pro, but it's a little more flexible. You can see I could bend that toe a little bit. When I put these on, I noticed the difference immediately. My feet were like, ooh, I kind of like these. I like that flexibility. This one, instead of having an EVA midsole, has a polyurethane midsole It still has the full rand, the full rubber rand all the way around the boot, which really helps cut down on abrasion. You still have the same lacing system on this boot. You have the same suede leather construction. You have the same Gore-Tex, full Gore-Tex lining, but you don't have any insulation in this boot. The Air Revolution Alpine Hiker would be a really good kind of compromise for guys that want a stiffer boot but don't need insulation. They want a smaller height, 7.5-inch height, and they want a little more weight savings. Maybe they don't need quite as robust of a boot as the Alpine Pro, so they could go with this. This boot is a little bit more breathable, in my opinion, just because of the amount of mesh that is outside of the boot and exposed to the air. It has the multi-griff outsole by Vibram. It's a different outsole than what's on the Pro. It's not going to be quite as grippy in terrain, but it's also probably going to be a little bit better for you elk hunters out there that are hunting the timber a little bit more, and you don't want a boot with a super aggressive tread that's snagging on everything in the woods and breaking sticks. You're going to get a little more ground sense, a little more feel out of this boot. It's probably going to be the best boot of the two for more of a do-all, all-purpose boot in that stiffer flex, that BC flex rating. So the Alpine Hiker has the same style tongue, and you get a little bit more color on this one, but that tongue is highly, highly breathable, and that's where the Air Revolution technology comes into play. Put that on, zap it down, and you're ready to rock. It's a nice cushy tongue. Guys that are doing you're carrying a pack, you're carrying a load, you're going up, you're down steep downhills. It's really nice to have a heavily cushioned tongue on your boot so your laces don't dig into the front of your ankle. I particularly enjoy that. Normally, my lacing technique is to lace fairly loose through the foot, a little tighter around the ankle, and then nice and tight around the top, because I like some mobility through the foot and then a little bit less up top. On my feet are the Air Revolution Alpine Light Hiker. When I hear the word light, I automatically think that's what I want. I like a lightweight boot. I don't want a boot that's super stiff and makes me feel like I'm walking in ski boots. And when I put the Light Hiker on, it was really comfortable right out of the box. The other two boots, as you can expect, with a little stiffer flex rating, take a little bit of wear. I'm just going to be honest with you in that. I didn't expect a more robust, stiffer mountain boot to not need a little bit of a break-in period. The Light Hikers were money right out of the box. And it's funny, having the luxury of being able to review all three of these boots simultaneously made my pick of these three just stand out. Now, that's just me, that's my opinion. You guys might like a stiffer boot, a heavier boot, you might want insulation. Meindl has you covered with this Air Revolution Alpine lineup. But back to the Light Hiker model of this boot. It comes with a C flex rating. It has a 7.25-inch height on it, so it's the shortest boot of the bunch. It has an EVA midsole. It features the Vibram cleat grip sole on it. That sole gives me plenty of traction, all the traction that I need without snagging on grass and sticks and debris. You maintain the Gore-Tex waterproof liner, and you maintain the breathability of the Air Revolution inflow and outflow system and technology. But what you get with the Light Hiker, you get an AB flex rating. So this is the most flexible of the Air Revolution Alpine line of boots. Admittedly, I've been wearing these the most this summer. Been doing the most miles in these, getting out in the mountains with them, hiking into trout fishing spots and scouting for elk and different things like that. But this was the boot that was on my feet the most. And I wore all three boots. I put them through their paces so I could speak to each boot individually in the Alpine lineup. But when you find something you like, it's hard to go away from it. And that's what I found with the Light Hiker model of these. They were super lightweight, super breathable. I like the shorter height. I like the more flexible flex rating. Super comfortable boot. Again, if you're like me and you like a Light Hiker style boot to do the majority of your hunting in, the Light Hiker in the Air Revolution Alpine lineup, probably going to be the boot for you. I would personally go to a Meindl dealer and I would look at all three boots. I would try them on. I would walk around the store in them. I would make sure that when I walked out of there, I had the right model. because out of these three, there's not a bad choice. They're all great boots, but you are going to prefer one of the three more than the other two, just like I do. All right, guys, so that is the Eastmans review of the Meindl Air Revolution Alpine line of boots. You got the Alpine Pro 200, you got the Alpine Hiker, and on my feet are the Alpine Light Hikers. Check them out anywhere that you can find Meindl boots. Go on the website for more information as well. Thanks for joining us on this Eastman's gear review of the Meindl Air Revolution lineup of boots. And until next time, guys, we'll see you in the field.